Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this exciting webinar that we're bringing to you from the Computational Analytics Visualization and Education Lab, the CAPE Lab from MIT. I'm Eva Ponce, and I will be your host today. The supply chain landscape has experienced a profound change over the last decade, driven by technological disruptions and global challenges. And today we'll explore how online education can be a powerful tool for supply chain professionals to stay up to date and adapt to this shift. Joining us is Dr. Caplice, the creator and primary instructor of the MIT MicroMasters program in supply chain management. Dr. Caplice is the executive director of the MIT Center for Transportation and Logistics, and he is widely recognized as a trailblazer in the supply chain management field. Dr. Caplice has been inspiring countless students, and his lectures have been like waking up passions for supply chain management. In 2014, Chris launched his first massive open online course, Supply Chain Fundamentals, based on a course he's been taught at MIT for many years. Little he knew that this course will be the first stone, the first step to develop a full online program that will reach out hundreds of thousands of learners around the globe. We're also delighted to have with us Dr. Eva Ponce. She's the Director of Online Education at the MIT Center for Transportation and Logistics. And Dr. Ponce oversees a diverse portfolio of online educational offerings, including the MicroMasters in Supply Chain Management, several specialized MOOCs, and also customized professional courses that are tailored to the needs of companies to upskill their workforce. So Eva is on a mission to democratize access to knowledge and equip the workforce of the future with the necessary skills and knowledge to excel in the supply chain management field. And of course, let me introduce the MITx MicroMasters program in supply chain management. I mentioned it a couple of times already. This is a pioneering program. It's online and is offered through the EDX platform. This program was launched a decade ago, and it has a profound impact. We count right now more than 1 million registrations of learners from all over the world, and we have issued more than 70,000 certificates to date. This program has had a profound impact in professionals around the world, and today, we will explore the incredible impact this program has had and the role it continues to play in shaping the education and the professional development in the supply chain. So during the next 45 minutes, we'll hear from Chris and Eva about the origins of this groundbreaking program, how it has maintained its relevance over the years, and what the future holds for supply chain education. So let's begin. Chris, as the creator of the MicroMasters program, can you share what inspired its development and how you envision it could impact the careers of supply chain professionals?
Yeah, I wish I could say we had a plan, but it was pure luck. We were approached, myself and Dr. Reshaping were approached by Sanjay Sarma, who's running the digital education here at MIT, and he wanted to have a course to come out to do what was then going to be a 3-course kind of curriculum. And we volunteered to do it. And so over the summer of 2014, as you said, we turned SCM 260, Supply Chain or Logistics Fundamentals, into Supply Chain Fundamentals, kind of translated things into this online format, which we hadn't done before. No one had really done this as much. And so the reason why we agreed to do it is, one, we're guinea pigs. We'd like to be pioneers here at CTL, try things differently. And I thought it'd be a one and done and we'd be done. But the real reason why we pushed it was we're trying to expand the scope of education supply chain. We, here at MIT, we've had a master's program for 25, 30 years that does about 40 students a year. We created a scale network, supply chain and logistics excellence, with 5, now 6 centers across the world. And that increased us to a couple hundred a year. But we knew the world needed more than that. So the MicroMasters or the online education was a chance for us to move education at scale, to really push it further and make it so that we could touch and help educate a wider number of people. And we have specifically targeted working professionals because supply chain is something that it wasn't a traditional course when I went to school back in the 80s. And so it's only recently been recognized as a discipline. So there's a whole realm of the workforce that's out there that never had the proper supply chain education. They've been doing it by experience. So we targeted them, working professionals. We'll talk about why we did that and how we did that in a few minutes. But the overall goal, we wanted to democratize education. But to be totally honest, these are all things in retrospect, looking over my shoulder. Yeah, that's what we were doing. We were just doing it as an experiment. We got lucky. And the first course we ran had 30,000 registrants. And that's when we knew we were on to something.
So, Eva, from your perspective, what do you think has been the key to this program's success in maintaining relevance and impact over the years?
Besides me.
Besides you. Firstly, for sure, having Chris as an instructor, as we all know, Professor Sheffy and other MIT instructors for sure. I would say the quality of the content is one of the key of success. The content that is offered in this program is equivalent to the content we are teaching here on campus at MIT. So quality of content, grad level content, equivalent to that, one of the key things. But more than that, I think since the beginning, and I differ from you a little bit, the program was designed to be delivered online. For example, and I'm going to bring an example. The 1 hour lecture that Chris Caplice was teaching on campus, he was not replicating exactly that. In terms of content, yes, but in terms of format, was completely different. 1 hour of lecture was divided in 5 to 7 chunks of short videos. And these videos were interspersed with quick questions and practice problems and exercises. So I think the principle behind of learn and apply. The program was really designed for learners to apply what they were learning through the videos. So after the video, they have this quick question in order to interact with the concept and fix the concept. And I think the digital platforms bring one key thing here, because a digital platform allow us to provide immediate feedback. And this reinforcing learning is something really powerful. So this immediate feedback that we can provide. And additionally, we have creating always problems that are inspired in real world scenarios. So this opportunity for our learners to apply what they learn in kind of real world problems also, I think, has been very effective. And finally, here at MIT and at the Center for Transportation and Logistics, we have this hands-on approach. And this is truly something that our learners are always bringing to us. They are telling us that what they learn through the program, they can immediately apply in their day-to-day problem. So I think definitely this is helping our learners with the content.
So Eva, the MicroMasters program has attracted learners from all over the world, as we mentioned earlier, and we'll show with the data later in the session. How has this global audience shaped the program content and delivery?
I think in that sense, we have evolved. At the very beginning, and I think when Chris developed the first MOOC, the supply chain fundamentals, we were much more US-centric. We also received a lot of feedback from our learners, and from when you have thousands of learners, believe me, you receive a lot of feedback from them. We take care, we listen about this feedback. Truly, we realized that some or most of our problems were inspired in the US context. So, 2 key aspects. One is we realized about that we start hiring a more multicultural and global team. We also put a lot of effort in trying to create problems that were relevant in a global context. So we not only provide examples from the US, also examples from companies in Europe or in Asia. So we try also to diversify a little bit the type of problems we were creating. We also pay attention to the language. We try to avoid idioms. We try to avoid this regional or local wording that is not something easy to understand in a global environment. And also to have a global team that testing the content and looking to these details also matter in order to deliver this content for a global audience. And we also need to pay attention to the delivery. When we are delivering a massive program like this one, again, having a multicultural and global team also makes the difference. Because, for example, for the final exam, we really want to provide a high touch experience to our learners and provide service 24/7. So having also a multicultural team help with that endeavor.
So Chris, lifelong learning is growing in importance. Things change very fast, so professionals need to continually update themselves. How do you think professionals can integrate this continuous education into their busy lives? And how does the program support that?
Yeah, this is building off what Eva said, because that was the big learning, and it took us at least 2 courses developed before we realized that the online is not the same thing as in person for individual course and as well as a big curriculum. If you go to an in-person master's degree, you go there and you're kind of committed. You're going to be there for the duration, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, whatever. The switching or dropping cost is very high because you've moved there, you've invested. For an online course, you start a course, the drop-in cost is 0. And so one of the big challenges that we had is that you couldn't put, for example, all the math up front. And because people get turned off and they leave in person program, that's normal, that's traditional. The first semester is the big basic course stuff. And so we learned some of those lessons. And so the big lesson is we had to meet the learner where they were with what they needed. So that means we had to make all of our lessons more modular. That's why we created the chunks, 5-7 minutes each, which we can pick and choose and move them around. It had to be focused. You don't have enough time. A working professional, who's our target, doesn't want to spend 20 hours learning something they're not going to apply either now or later. You have to make sure it's focused. So when they know they're going to come and learn about inventory, they're learning about inventory, right? So you have to make sure that you deliver what you say you're going to deliver. And the last thing, you have to be flexible because as you pointed out, these people are working, and so they're not here full time. So they're squeezing these courses in before they go to work, after they go to work, on the weekends, after their kids are in bed. It's amazing. We'll talk more about different stories of what our learners do because they're the amazing part of this story. What they do, it's easy to make a course because you make it once. These people going through and taking the course, I'm amazed at the effort and the sacrifices they make. But the big thing that we have to do, and is a lesson that took us a while to learn, as well as getting rid of all the Americanisms that I put in the course, and everything was in miles, right? Everything used dollars and cents. It took a while to get rid of that. It also took a while to realize online learning is different than in person. Content can be the same, but how they're delivered, how it's absorbed are very different. And that's how we try to stay relevant to the working professionals, which are the meat of the students that we want to reach out to, those working professionals in the field.
And if I can build on that, also the flexibility that online education brings to people, that they can take their lessons anywhere they are, as long as they have internet connectivity or they downloaded the contents before. Also, any time of the day. I think that's very helpful when you have a very busy life. So that's a characteristic of online education, not specifically to this program, but I think it's very, very powerful for lifelong learning.
But something else we found that you need to have that initially, because there are a lot of courses where they just throw all the material out. It's like Netflix. All the series are put out there at once. You get lost, you don't remember, you do whatever. So we try to find that middle ground. And so, yes, you can look at everything on your own time, on your own schedule, but we keep a cadence for most of the courses because it's very helpful to stay along with the group so you can ask questions. That's something that Eva really has pushed forward, that you move forward as a cohort. So yes, you have that flexibility, but it's more structured into a set calendar because people need that to stay on track and on focus.
Yeah, that's why most of our courses are instructor based,
Yes.
just to help the cohort to go together and learn together.
Yeah.
Striking a balance between
Yes.
the two.
Exactly.
So, Chris, looking ahead, looking into the future, what trends do you see shaping the future of supply chain education, particularly with the advances in AI and automation and all these technology changes we're seeing?
Yeah, so it's a challenge because I made some of these videos 10 years ago, and some things don't change. Inventory trade-offs don't change. Certain concepts are rock solid. They've been there for 100 years. But other things are constantly evolving. So again, something that Eva has really introduced is what do you put in the videos? What do you do in live events? And we found that a lot of the newer technologies don't put it in the video because it's changing so quickly. If I recorded a video on AI a year ago, it's already outdated. So one thing, to stay abreast, you've got to figure out what is the right mechanism, what's the right medium to put that innovation. Is it something we put in the video? Is it something we talk about live? until it gets evolved and gets stabilized. But to be honest, the whole idea of AI, it gets us excited and it scares us because it offers so many potentials to learn more. But there's also some downsides to it. And so we're constantly looking to evolve and add in these new technologies, new approaches. But the heart of what we do here at the course is the basic fundamentals. We're not trying to teach everything you'll ever need for the rest of your life. There's a lot of other classes you can take and continue. This is meant to meet you where you are, what you need to know. So what we try to focus on is understanding the core elements. So we don't just show a magic formula. We try to make sure you understand where it comes from so you can understand how it's being done. I like to use the analogy of cars. And so you can be a mechanic who knows how to build and fix a car. You can be a passenger at the other extreme where you just sit in the passenger seat and get driven. We think that for MicroMasters, you're kind of in the middle. You're a driver. You don't need to know the mechanics of a combustion engine, but you need to know to put the right kind of gas in it. You need to know how it's operating. And you're more than a passenger. You're directing where the model in this case goes. And so you're not doing the proofs and understanding the basic core, but you understand why it works and how it approaches. Because I think as software gets better and better, and you can do more things with a click of a button, it becomes more important to understand what the heck you're doing and why is it doing, to take the magic out of math that a lot of people put that faith in. This is a magic software, just press a button. So to summarize that up, we always look for future, what's happening, and look at the trends, try to embed those where it makes sense. But it's still always important to understand where things come from, the fundamentals.
Eva, do you want to add something to that, or?
I fully agree with what
You have to say
I fully agree on that.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
How do you see, let's talk more about the online education part of it,
Yes.
right? Digital platforms.
Yes.
There's all these technologies also making these platforms to evolve and, create more possibilities for online education. So how do you see digital platforms evolving to better support interactive and personalized learning experiences in the future?
In that sense, I definitely see the potential of AI from the learner's perspective and from the platform perspective, because I think the AI tools can definitely help us to better personalize the learner's journey. And I'm going to give an example. Currently, we provide our videos and a set of problems. But with AI tools, if we can provide the specific level of difficulty with the problems to the learners based on their background, or just based on the number of attempts they did in order to complete the previous problem in our platform, could be a good way just to personalize a little bit the problems they are going to be exposed to through the platform. So I think AI can help to better personalize this learner's journey through our digital platforms. The modular learning that Chris mentioned, I think is going to be also key in providing this flexibility for learners just to enroll in a course, and maybe they don't need to cover every single content that we have. They just need to focus on those modules that they really want to learn because they come with a certain background to us. So the future with all of these AI tools and the technology, I think is going to help us to provide a more flexible but also personalized learner's journey through the platform. So I see a tons of potential. From the assessment perspective, I can definitely see the challenge of AI tools and ChatGPT, and of course, it's a different story. So we are here, and we are doing a lot of work with the team now, just trying to get the best of the AI tools to improve our learners' experience, and at the same time, trying to face the challenge that these tools also bring for assessment.
It's great to know that your team is working on incorporating all these into
Actively working on that, yes.
So as we celebrate the 10-year milestone of the MicroMasters program, what has been the most rewarding or surprising outcome for you personally? And if there's a moment or a story that stands out, it would be great to hear.
For me, the biggest thing is just the numbers. I never thought this. I thought it would be one and done, one course, and that's fine. A couple of people take it each year. So the big thing is just the scale that this became, and that's a tribute to you guys running it and keeping it alive. Because creating the videos is one thing, but keeping the momentum and keeping things going, that's a whole nother task. My favorite story, though, is one of the things that we are constantly on the guard for is looking for people who cheat, to be honest, because it's you're people across the world, you know, you're just doing this online. And so one of the things I did early on was look to see people in one of the courses who did really well, but didn't watch any of the videos. And I found a number of people who didn't watch it. The system said they had 0 time watching any of the videos, but they had really good grades, 90s and 100s and everything. And I said, well, these guys are obvious cheaters. And so I contacted them. I said, what the heck? And so I emailed them out, and the person who responded back was so excited to communicate with me. We're talking back and forth. And I found out from him that is based in Africa, that he would, in his office, he would download all the videos and have them and play them on his phone while he was taking his bus ride home, which could take an hour. He had no internet at home. So here I am thinking that they're cheating, and they're doing this course on a bus as they communicate, as they commute back to home and work. And I thought that was, wow, the dedication it takes to do that, that blew me away. And so especially made me feel horrible. I thought they were cheating, and they were just doing great stuff. So there was a lesson for all of us.
Definitely. So for me, the most rewarding moment is when learners approach to us and they say, hey, thanks to this program, my life changed. And their life changing, they tell us change in different ways. Maybe because they land in the supply chain management field for the very first time, maybe because they got a promotion based on the program, because this sparked them the interest for continuing with a master's degree and apply to MIT or apply to any other pathway university. So this life-changing thing is what really, really inspired me every single day. In terms of stories, we have tons of stories. I still remember when that we have the final exam is kind of a huge milestone for the team and also for all of our learners. And when we completed one of these final exam, one of our learners immediately, he completed the exam. 1 hour, 2 hours later, he shared with us the picture of his triplets. And they just born, and he was completing the final exam in the hospital. And this definitely show us the dedication and the commitment that our learners are putting into this program.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing these inspiring stories.
But there are there's several where they, on their wedding day or on the honeymoon, I know there was a husband and wife both taking it, and she passed and he didn't with the CFX. And so there's all these stories where people blend this into their lives. It's amazing.
It's amazing to see that. Yeah.
Great. So now that we've discussed the vision and the evolution of the MicroMasters program in supply chain management, let's move next to this screen. Perfect. And show some data insights to our audience. So this is the CAVE MicroMasters dashboard that we created with all historical data from the program. And we just want to show here, it's easier to see the impact or to quantify the impact the program has had over the past 10 years with these graphics. So in the top left corner, what you can see on the screen is just the enrollment over time. It's a cumulative graph. It's a waterfall cumulative graph. And as you can see, like the biggest enrollment years were at the beginning of the program, and also during the pandemic, the COVID pandemic in the 2020. And what we're happy to see is that the enrollment has been picking up in recent years, and we are like at the pre-COVID pandemic levels now. So this shows that the program still is like fulfilling this demand for high quality supply chain management education, flexible, online, and accessible.
Let me provide some historical data here, Irma, because Chris developed the first MOOC in 2014. The second MOOC we developed in supply chain design in 2015. The MicroMaster program was announced in 2016, and the first MicroMaster cohort, the first cohort of MicroMaster credential holders, those who completed the entire program, was generated in 2017, May 2017. So this is the first peak we are seeing here. And as you just mentioned, Irma, the second one during the pandemic, that we found that we had more enrollment, but also more learners committed to complete the entire program.
Have more time at home.
Exactly. And they spent with us, which was great.
So here on the top right of your screen, you can see the enrollment by course. The program consists of 5 courses. And the first two, the ones in blue, are the ones with like more verification. So with more students, clearly more students than all the other three courses. And this really shows that there's a huge interest in analytics and also in fundamental concepts and models in supply chain management. As Chris was mentioning earlier, like this baseline, this foundation is essential even in this world that we live in with like all the advances of AI. Understanding what's happening under the hood is very important to be able to make good decisions. Then on the bottom left, you can see the cumulative enrollment trends for male and female learners over time. And while the number of male learners is still like way higher than the number of female learners, we are really happy to see the consistent growth in female participation. And this really speaks to the program's effort to achieve more diversity and also like include more female in this historically dominated, male-dominated field.
Yeah, there are two components, the field, the supply chain management field, the STEM field in general, but also this is a global program. We have more than 190 countries represented in the program. So this also shows the global trend in this specific field, I would say.
Yes. And in the bottom right, you can see the good certificates earned over verification. So it's basically the pass rate for each one of the courses. And again, you see that the blue ones, the first courses of the series, supply chain analytics and supply chain fundamentals, have a lower pass rate than the others. This is due to let's say more mathematical content, a little bit more challenging content, where people struggle a little bit more with this because people come to this program from many different backgrounds, not only with a mathematical background, but people come from a literature background, from like business. So people struggle a little bit more with this content, but also the dropout is higher in these courses because as people progress through the program, they of course are less likely to drop out because they are more engaged. They invested already a lot of time. They want to finish the journey.
So is it safe to say that most people start with 0x, then 1, then 2? Some people come in different ways, but the majority start with 0x.
Yes, that's it. That's what we've seen with our.
And once they've taken 2, they're probably going to stay for the another 3.
Now let's show some regional insights.
I'm not going to touch anything.
So here you can see like the data like divided by region, different regions of the world: so Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, Oceania, 7 Seas, and South America. And on the top left corner, you can see the enrollment over time. And it's clear that Asia has the highest number of enrollments in our courses, and it's like growing even further. In the second position is North America, and then comes Europe. But then if we look at verifications, so people who actually pay to get a certificate if they pass the course, we see that we have more people from North America than from Asia, but the gap is closing in recent years. So Asia is really like many Asian students are coming.
It's a big continent.
Of course, of course. But initially it was like, we have mostly North Americans, and now
a lot of it,
more well known.
yeah, with China it's tough because only the first course is translated, right? And so a lot of these are from India. India is probably our biggest country of students.
Yeah, and now that thanks to AI, there's gonna be like a translation for all the videos in the platform. I think like we'll see maybe even more people from other regions joining the program. And on the bottom right, we can see the MicroMaster credentials earned per region. And this is people who finished the whole MicroMasters and they got their credentials, all the 5 courses and the comprehensive final exam. And here we see that North America, we have the biggest number of MicroMaster credential holders, then comes Asia, and then we have Europe. And
Europe's in third. I don't know.
However, let's try to look to the certificates because I can see Europe kind of the first.
This is the pass rate per region. So yes,
good job.
So
Europeans and
you're right
South
behind
Americans.
South America.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes, the course certificates over verifications per region is roughly similar, but yeah, we can see that how Europe and South America and Oceania outperform the other regions by a little. Great. So let me ask you a couple of questions just to wrap up, reflecting on all this data and on the discussion we've had today. So Chris, with this data from thousands of learners, how has their feedback influenced the evolution of the program and keeps to influence it?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is some of the stuff that Eva already mentioned, the de-Americanizing of things, because I created SE1X and everything was in North America. Actually, everything was in New England. It was in Massachusetts or Connecticut, and everything was in miles and dollars. And so making it so it's more global, using metric and other currencies, things like that. But also the thing that I didn't recognize is the just how American I was. And so I remember using a phrase in SE1X where you had to turn on a dime. And I remember someone in the chat coming in saying, "What's a dime?" Because it's something that it doesn't translate. So that's one of the big things, is to make it a global course rather than a regional course taught here in Massachusetts. The second thing is the feedback from the students. We've done this over the years, and a lot of the problems we have in the course came from students where they said, "Hey, I'm in this company where this is the problem we have." And so we incorporate it. And so getting feedback on what to teach, how to teach, and examples is something we always get back from alums. And so that's something we use both in person here for the course we teach at MIT, but also for things that we do in the MicroMasters.
Yeah, the feedback from our learners is key in every single part related to content, related to the delivery part, and we take it seriously.
Yes.
So truly, we review that after the end of each run of each course, and we try to incorporate as much as we can.
I think a lot of like going into Python and incorporating some of that really came from desire of the students to want to do it, because we're seeing that they're using it in their job, and they want to see it into the course. So we want to make sure we stay current with those technologies.
So we have completion rates in massive open online courses is a challenge. All research out there says that, and also the data. So from your perspective, what strategies have been most effective in keeping learners motivated and engaged in the courses and throughout?
Definitely, IMA dropout rate is an issue with massive open online education, for sure. We have been doing several things. I think that the combination, because all of our material is asynchronous material, and this is what really provides this flexibility and convenience we have been discussing. However, we incorporate in every single course at least one, and most typically we have 2 to 3 live events, and these are synchronous touch points. These synchronous touch points not only allow our learners to interact directly with the instructor and bring their questions, but also bring this sense of belonging to a community and be part of a cohort. And from the engagement perspective, especially in a 100% asynchronous environment, is truly key to provide these mechanisms to make them feel that they are not alone in this long journey. So this combination of synchronous and asynchronous, one of the key parts. Also, these MOOCs or these courses is more than just a course. It's a program. And this is also a good thing, but also a challenge for us, because we not only need to convince our learners to take the course, they need to complete 5 courses and a final exam at the end. So I think discussion forums are playing a pivotal role through the courses, because again, provide this environment for our learners, not only to bring any content related question, but also interact with their peers and belong, again, that they are part of a community, they are part of a cohort. We are putting in the team, dedicating a lot of effort just to create this community and nurture the community, and trying to provide events for our learners to feel that they are part of this community. And finally, I think the value of the credential by itself is one of the powerful motivators for our learners, because it's truly, most of our learners spend in this program 12 to 18 months. This has a lot of days and a lot of nights. And they have many commitments and family and a full-time work than most of our students. So truly this value of the credential that is opening them different opportunities. With the credential, some of them are applying to a new job in supply chain management, or they are getting a promotion thanks to that, or applying to MIT, that some of them are dreaming to apply to MIT and get admitted and continue their academic career. So I think this value of the credential definitely is motivating them. And we also found through this journey that sharing stories, testimonials for learners that went through that is really inspiring for those learners that are now spending days and nights through the program.
Great.
So thank you, Chris and Eva, for sharing your insights during this event. It's been a very insightful conversation. And thank you all of you for being here. If you're interested in knowing more about the MITx MicroMasters program in supply chain management, we will be running another webinar. This will be more focused on understanding the details of the program, the timing, the contents in each course, and it will happen on Thursday, January 23rd at 2 p.m. EST. The link is being shared in the chat. You can also visit the website. The link is also in the chat. And we keep an eye out for our next webinars. And let's continue to grow and learn together in this amazing field of supply chain management. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.